Hi, welcome to another episode of the Dork Report. This is Santino. Today we're going to be doing a review of All-Star Superman. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, I said to myself, do we really need another Superman movie from the DC animated movies? Couldn't you have given us a Flash or an Aquaman movie? Where I still believe that's true, All-Star Superman ended up being a really good movie. All-Star Superman is based off of the 12-issue miniseries of the same name. This was a pretty good adaptation of the comic book. The movie being 76 minutes long, things, of course, had to be cut. I'd say Evil Superman and Bizarro World being the biggest things that they had to cut. The plot and story in this movie are surprisingly original for the character being around for almost 80 years. And it definitely does the character justice because this movie is fantastic. They finally made Jimmy funny. The character designs looked fantastic. I've never seen Superman more in character than I have in this movie. Now, I wanted to move on to the acting. Everybody did a really good job in this movie, but there were three actors I wanted to talk about specifically, and that's James Denton, who played Superman, Anthony LaPaglia, who played Lex Luthor, and Steve Blum, that played Atlas, and a couple of other voices. I think that Superman and Lex Luthor were miscast. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying bring back Tim Daly and Clancy Brown to play Superman and Lex, because I know they want to explore new actors, and they want to explore new territory and break themselves away from the DC animated universe, and I can understand that, and I'm not saying bring those guys back. But I think that David Boreanaz would play a pretty good Superman, and I think that Robert Picardo would make one hell of a Lex Luthor. And again, it's not like the guys that were actually in the movie were bad actors. They just didn't really seem very Superman or Lex Luthor-like. Their voices didn't have a whole lot of character to me. And Superman's voice in particular seemed a bit dry to me. But I wanted to move on to Steve Blum. I feel that Steve Blum is very misused in these movies. It seems to me that they kind of use him as this filler actor, because he's had two big roles in these movies. He played Atlas in this movie, and then he played Count Vertigo in the Green Arrow short. But in Superman All-Star, he played a bunch of miscellaneous voices, and he did the same thing in the Green Arrow short. And both Count Vertigo and Atlas didn't really have that much screen time. I guess what I'm trying to get at is that it seems kind of odd to me that he gets all of these very small roles, seeing that he's such a big player in the anime voice acting industry. Roger Smith, Big O, Toto, Code Geass, Spike, Cowboy Bebop, The Laughing Man, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Guyver 3, Guyver, Naruto, Ochimaru, Samurai Champloo, Mugen, Wolf's Rain, Darsha. This guy could very easily pull off a main role in one of these movies as Batman or Bane or Killer Croc. It just seems kind of odd to me that they kind of stick him with these small roles. But maybe that's something I should just save for a different video, because I feel that I'm getting sidetracked here. The fight scene between Superman and Lex Luthor was extremely satisfying. I think a lot of Superman fans have been waiting to see Lex and Superman kind of go toe-to-toe without having to see Lex in some big robot suit or Superman on his knees from some kryptonite. I think this movie had a really great ending. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it does feel kind of cheapened, if not completely ruined, by the very last image we see of the movie. Again, I don't want to give it away for anybody. This is one of the better movies that they have released so far. I would say this is a definite buy. Pick it up. I'd give this movie an A-. It wasn't as good as Green Lantern First Flight, and it wasn't nearly as funny as Wonder Woman, but still a solid movie.